When Jurassic World Evolution 3 comes out, it's going to be coming out with one of the most requested features we've ever had for the series. Deep water? Okay, it took a while for something that sounds rudimentary, but deep water adds a ton of potential depth to the game, not just visually, but in gameplay as well. Today we'll dive into all the details on the new feature and speculate about what else it could mean for the future of Jurassic World Evolution 3. Now, deep water isn't the only new water feature. Waterfalls are being added too, automatically added when you place down water on the ground and then higher up nearby. They're not the focus of this video, but they look cool, they alter the terrain, the rocks, and even the foliage as you place them. But I'm talking about them because it looks like deep water may even alter how your waterfalls look. When waterfalls were first revealed in the trailer, they looked a little bit weedy. They're cool, but they're a bit thin, a bit plasticky. As you can see, this one was created using the shallow water tool, the first of 3 options. So was this one. This beast, however, was created using the deep water tool, and instead we get this rushing, powerful, white, frothy water. Now, at the time I thought maybe they just done sort of a visual pass and a visual update to make the waterfalls look cooler, but what I think is actually happening is the shallow water tool creates these thin, calmer waterfalls, and the deeper water creates these much more forceful ones that would do Mulan proud. No gameplay implications here, but it's a cool little feature and they look great. The deep water itself though has a lot of implications. On the face of it, it's pretty simple. You pick your new deep water brush, you choose your radius, your intensity and your slope, and you get to painting. But there's more to it than that. Some dinosaurs like these brachiosaurs can wade through the water, and some other dinosaurs, like the Spinosaurus, are able to swim through the deeper water and will actually require it to be happy in their enclosure with special deep water animations and environmental requirements. That kind of specificity suggests that not all dinosaurs will require deep water, and it also even further suggests that not all dinosaurs will be even capable of traversing through deep water. Now, in reality, the vast majority of dinosaurs were probably capable of some form of swimming, but that doesn't mean they want to, it doesn't mean it's something they enjoy, and using this as a way to further differentiate species and make them seem a little bit more unique is definitely a good idea. So, let's take a little look here. Who is likely to be swimming in Jurassic World Evolution 3? Well, your Spinosaurus, of course. Your Spinosaurus, your Baryonyx, your Suchomimus. Hopefully we get another. I also think maybe the Tyrannosaurus Rex, maybe a handful of other large theropods might be capable of it as well. If only because, of course, Jurassic World Rebirth has recently added that to the canon essentially. Dinosaurs is another obvious choice, better suited maybe to medium waters, but it did thrive in aquatic environments. The same goes for Therizinosaurus, which is seen wading through and living in damp aquatic environments in Jurassic World Dominion. For me, neither of these would be swimming around with grace, perhaps it would be more of an awkward paddle, keeping their head just above water or sort of bouncing along the bottom of the lake, which is actually how a lot of animals move through deeper water in reality right now. Some hadrosaurids would make sense as well. Tyrannosaurus, for example, lived in damp floodplain environments, and it very likely had to breach rivers now and again in order to evade predators or just move across to a new food source. You'd imagine a lot of the dinosaurs of Hell Creek would also have to traverse water sources. Some smaller dinosaurs as well might make sense. I can see the likes of Struthiomimus, that light and gracile body capable of sort of doggy paddling or Struthy paddling its way across the river, similar to maybe some small theropods like Velociraptor. And finally, it's wading, not swimming, but the large sauropods will clearly have the size to just trundle through the water basically. I think it's probably too deep for the likes of Nigersaurus or Amargasaurus, maybe even Diplodocus with that low-slung body. But your taller sauropods should all be okay to navigate the water. As I say, most dinosaurs could probably swim to some extent, but it's got to look and feel right for the game, whilst also making sure that enough dinosaurs can use it that it doesn't feel like a wasted mechanic. The interesting thing is, of course, that for every dinosaur that can't traverse the water, the deep water kind of acts as a natural barrier to their enclosure. There's a big focus on this in Evolution 3, with most of the enclosures we've seen being sort of 90% rock, and then a little bit of fence to allow your ranger vehicles in, and, you know, guest viewing centers and stuff like that. The requirement of some fence at least means that they're not just a cheap way to keep your dinosaur contained. Every dinosaur will still be able to break out if you mistreat them. But for the ones that can't swim, could deep water act as a natural boundary for some dinosaurs in the way these cliff walls do? Basically a moat, in the way that modern zoos often do, where there's no fence at all, but there's a pit filled with deep water and the animals simply can't get out. There's more to deep water than the traversal though. It's a requirement for the Spinosaurus for its environment, but also as a food source. Now, we got a little preview of this at an event. We weren't allowed to record it. Some people did, but we weren't allowed. But what we did see was a Spinosaurus slinking into the deep water, and then occasionally dipping its head below the surface to feed on the fish there. I couldn't see a fish feeder, and if we take a look at the latest feature focus, there doesn't seem to be a new deep water specific fish feeder, so I think the fish from that deep water are from a natural source. They just kind of spawn when you place this deep water into your environment. A natural food source for your Spinosaurids and, maybe a few other dinosaurs. Who's to say a Rex wouldn't dip its head under and snack on some fish? What we have seen already though is Quetzalcoatlus feeding from a fish feeder. But logically, they would probably enjoy feeding from the deep water as well, or at least your smaller pterosaurs would. Imagine if you could add deep water to your aviaries, and then you'd get to see your pterosaurs dive bomb in or skim the surface and scoop up their dinner. It'd be a really cool behaviour to witness, unique and naturalistic. Unfortunately, the removal of the insect feeder all but confirms Jehalopterus has been removed from the game. I've got no idea what a Neurognathus is going to eat when it gets added down the line, but we really do need a little bit more variety now to these pterosaur feeding habits. This is something that I suspect will not be in the game at launch. I don't think your pterosaurs will feed from deep water, but I think this might be one of the things to keep an eye out for in post-launch content, something that could potentially be added down the line to the game. I like the idea of this a lot. So deep water helps with waterfalls, traversal, animal containment and animal feeding, but how do our guests enjoy it? We know at least two of the new attractions coming to Jurassic World Evolution 3, the balloon tour and the dinosaur encounter, which is basically their version of a petting zoo. But man, the text on the website certainly suggests there's a third coming, and this is what the website says. Whether it's soaring through an aerial view of the park in a balloon tour, getting up close and personal with a dinosaur encounter, or leaving dry land to gain a new perspective, create unforgettable experiences for guests visiting your parks. There's two oars there. There are three different subjects: the balloon tour, the dinosaur encounter, and whichever it is that has us leaving dry land to gain a new perspective. You could suggest that is once again the balloon tour, but if that was the case, it wouldn't be separated in the sentence. The mention of dry land specifically definitely suggests a boat tour of some description, and really it would seem very silly to add deep water to the game and not give us the boat tour we've been asking for so long. This is an attraction that has been canonized in the franchise again and again and again and again and again. This is a franchise filled with people sitting on boats. You can see that deep water has its fingers in so many wet pies. Don't know why I scripted that. Guest experience and attractions, exhibit design, animal containment, animal feeding, Spinosaurid enrichment. But could this mechanic be expanded even further down the line in post-launch content? If crocodilians, for example, ever get added to the game, you've got to imagine they would utilize this deep water mechanic expertly, perhaps lying in wait and using it to hunt at the edge of the water in the way that modern crocodilians do. By that same token, perhaps a more dedicated wetlands environment could spawn from that deep water to create these muddy, swampy zones that feel dense in a way that Evolution's big open exhibits so rarely do. Furthermore, what about viewing galleries that sit both above and below the water? This is something we try to make in basically every game out there. Prehistoric Kingdom, Planet Zoo, now Jurassic World Evolution as well. Let our guests see the full movement of our semi-aquatic animals as they shift from lake to land and vice versa. An addition that seems quite simple on the face of it has a full world of possibilities, and I hope it's something that keeps expanding through the lifetime of Evolution 3. By and large, it does look like Evolution 3 is a big step forwards for the franchise, and in part that means that future free updates will hopefully not be plugging gaps anymore, but instead developing feature sets even further. There's a lot of ways to do that with deep water. Which mechanics of these, including those fish hunting pterosaurs, would you most like to see added to the game? Let me know in the comments down below. Stick around for more Jurassic World Evolution 3 news and speculation, and I'll see you lovely folks very soon. Cheers, much love as always. Bye-bye.